Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We're going to discuss Chapter 18, Text 73 of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. I'm going to request Vinod Maharaj to read the translation and purport. Even one paragraph of the purport.
Text 73. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Nasto moha smitir labdha.
Nasto moha smitir labdha.
Tvat prasadam mayachyuta. Stitosmi gata sandeha. Karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna Uvacha. Nasto moha smitir labdha. Tvat prasadam vayachyuta. Stitosmi gata sandeha. Karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna Uvacha. Nasto moha smitir labdha. Tvat prasadam mayachyuta. Stitosmi gata sandeha. Karishye vachanam tava. Word for word meaning. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions." Purport. The constitutional position of a living entity represented by Arjuna is that he has to act according to the order of the Supreme Lord. He is meant for self-discipline. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the actual position of the living entity is that of eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Forgetting this principle, the living entity becomes conditioned by material nature, but in serving the Supreme Lord, he becomes the liberated servant of God. The living entity's constitutional position is to be a servitor. Finish? He has to serve either the illusory Maya or the Supreme Lord. If he serves the Supreme Lord, he is in his normal condition. But if he prefers to serve the illusory external energy, then certainly he will be in bondage. In illusion, the living entity is serving in this material world. He is bound by his lust and desires, yet he thinks of himself as the master of the world. This is called illusion.
Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I regain my memory by your mercy. I'm now firm and free from doubt and prepared to act according to your instruction. I'll also read text 72. Okay? This is what Krishna said. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth. No, you don't have to repeat. O son of Preeta, O conqueror of wealth. If you heard this with an attentive mind, and now your ignorance and illusion now dispelled. So, in the previous verse, Krishna asked Arjuna, is your illusion now gone? What was Arjuna's illusion? Arjuna's illusion was reflected in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and in the third. Arjuna said, now I'm confused about my duty and I'm begging you to guide me. We see in the scriptures questions and answers. In the Bhagavad Gita also, question and answers. I'm sure you may remember that when you were in college, you probably had question and answer textbooks also. Question and then answer. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there are many questions Arjuna is asking. Now someone may say, Arjuna, isn't he an eternal associate of the Lord? How can he ask questions? Arjuna is asking questions for our benefit, especially for the benefit of devotees in CALGARI. He's asking questions so that we get the right answers. But Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of questions and answers. For example, Parikshit Maharaj inquired, what should one do who is about to die? Are we all going to die? Even in Alberta, Calgary, people die. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by a Brahmin boy to die at the end of 7 days. If he wanted, he could have counteracted the curse. But he accepted it as the will of the Lord. And he invited all the great sages present. And he asked them, what should one do who is about to die? Then in the 7th canto, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Narada Muni. He said, please guide us, those of us who are living at home, in the Grihastha ashram, how they can achieve perfection based on the Vedas. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked a question on behalf of all the householders on the planet. How can we, who live in the Grihastha ashram, attain perfection based on the Vedas? And you know what the reply was? Who knows what the reply was? No one. Narada Muni said, the householders, they have to earn their livelihood. But they should not use livelihood for themselves, but understand who is the real enjoyer. Who is the real enjoyer? Very often we say, yes, everything I'm doing is for Krishna, but the checkbook is in my hand. So, and how do you get this knowledge? By spiritual association. Then in the 6th canto, Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, how can one cleanse the heart or the sinful tendency? Parikshit Maharaj said, an elephant takes a bath in the lake or the river, becomes clean. But then he comes out of the lake, sits on the mud, again becomes dirty, isn't it? So Parikshit Maharaj said, what is the value of a process where you sin and atone? I sin today, Sunday I go to the church. I sin today, Tuesday I go to the temple. I sin for years, then I go to the Kumbh Mela to wash my sins. So Parikshit Maharaj said, what is the value of this process? Please describe to me how the heart can be cleansed so we take away the sinful tendency. And in response to this question, what did Srila Goswami say? He gave the story of, who said Arjuna? The story of Arjuna, which describes the potency of the holy name. So asking questions and answers is something natural in the Upadeshamrita presented by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami talks about 6 types of rasas amongst devotees. Who knows what the 6 types are? One is revealing your mind to those who are more advanced. And second is taking instructions from them. There's no point in revealing your mind if you're not going to take instructions. Does that make sense? You go to a doctor, tell him all your ailments are, then he gives you a prescription and you're sorry, I don't want that. And there's no value. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also got confused. He got confused about his duty. But as we said, and we should recognize, the Bhagavad Gita is spotless wisdom. In the 4th chapter, Krishna gives a history of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, I am part of this knowledge of the Sun God. What's the Sun God's name? Goswami. Just like in every country, you have a head of state and a name. Where's the name? So different planets also have a presiding deity. Vivaswan is the sun god, and then there's moon god, etc. So this knowledge over time got lost. And Krishna says, now I'm giving this knowledge to you because you are my confidential friend and devotee. What was Arjuna's dilemma? He was a Kshatriya. As a Kshatriya, his natural duty was to fight. But fight for the right cause. These are so many wars going on, Middle East and all over the world. These are not religious fights. These are political fights. But Arjuna would fight for the right cause because he was a Kshatriya. The Pandavas were entitled to the kingdom, which they were being deprived by Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. So Arjuna was lamenting, what should I do? What is my duty? And then Krishna instructs the philosophy. The philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita is universal. We should not think that Bhagavad Gita is a sectarian document or people of one country. It is for the entire humanity. Krishna explains first the position of the soul. This is very important to understand. 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita describes a very important point. You may have heard the word illusion. Yes, what does illusion mean? That's a simple answer. What does illusion mean? What does illusion mean?
Something unreal.
It's
not real.
To be said to be under a false conception. Due to illusion, we accept what is false to be permanent, what is temporary to be permanent, what is false to be real. For example, in illusion, we identify with the body. We are not saying if you become a devotee, you won't have any identification with the body. We are not saying devotees have no identification with the body. But at least someone with philosophical understanding knows this body is not my real self. Just like the clothes we wear cover our body, the body is covering the spirit soul. And this is important to understand, for the soul is eternal in nature. Once you understand that I'm eternal in nature, then you have a different concept of life. Due to illusion, we think everything ends with this body. And therefore, we don't know how to act. Why are people so demoniac? Why are people so greedy? Because they don't think there's anything beyond this life. Their philosophy is acquire as much as you can. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes how we should act. Bhagavad Gita doesn't preach inaction. It preaches action for the benefit of the Lord. In the second chapter, we get the knowledge of the soul. The tragedy is we hear it again and again and we keep forgetting. There's nothing that we're going to tell you today that you've never heard before. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm going to hear something. New secret. There's no new secret. All our secrets have been spoken thousands of times. Because the Bhagavad Gita presents not secretive knowledge, but knowledge that's available and has been spoken many times before. So, still, regular hearing is necessary. Just like in the material world, you see the same product being advertised again and again, isn't it? Like let's say there's a Samsung phone, an Apple phone. You see the billboards everywhere. So what are they saying? When you want to buy a phone, think of us. So we need to hear the message of the Gita regularly. Therefore, it is highly recommended that we read the Gita every day. Lord Chaitanya was on a tour for southern India. He came to a temple in South India, the famous temple of Sri Rangam. In Sri Rangam, how many of you have been to Sri Rangam? Okay. It's a very historical temple. So in Sri Rangam, every day there used to be a Brahmin who was materially uneducated, sitting there against a pillar, holding the Bhagavad Gita and reciting 18 chapters of the Gita every day. He was materially uneducated, but his spiritual master had instructed him, every day you must read 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. So very dutifully, every day he would do that. And because he was uneducated, some slokas he would pronounce correctly, some he would pronounce incorrectly. And people would laugh at him. They would say, this man is uneducated and he's showing off as if he's a big pandit. Lord Chaitanya was passing by. He saw a big crowd assembled. So the Lord penetrated to the crowd to see what was happening. There he saw this Brahmin. And when he would be reciting the Gita, tears would come from his eyes. Body would shiver. What are these the signs of? Extreme Alaska winter. What are these the signs of? Ecstatic symptoms. Oh God. So Lord Chaitanya could understand that these are genuine symptoms. There are a lot of people who fake the symptoms. Like if you go to Vrindavan, you very often meet people, they'll roll on the ground, produce tears from their eyes, and the innocent people say, oh, see how advanced he is. But a genuine devotee doesn't display these symptoms in public. So Lord Chaitanya asked this Brahmin, what is in the Bhagavad Gita that's making you display these symptoms? And the Brahmin said, he didn't reveal his story. I'm uneducated, but I've been instructed by my spiritual master to read the Bhagavad Gita every day. So I'm trying to read it. But because I can't understand, people laugh at me. But when I see this picture of Krishna driving a chariot on Arjuna's order, tears come from my eyes and my body begins to shiver. When I see the humility of Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna even carried the slippers of his father. So then Lord Chaitanya embraced Brahman and said, "You have really understood the Bhagavad Gita." And then Lord Chaitanya kept him with him for 4 months and explained in detail the Bhagavad Gita. The Prabhupada, in the purport of this Leela, states that this Brahman has faith in the instructions of his Guru. Even though he was uneducated and people would laugh at him, still he carried out the duty. And what happened in the end as a result of this? What happened? God came to see him. Chaitanya Prabhu was God. God came to see him. So Prabhupada says, we should all read the Gita every day. One of the main, I'm emphasizing on my trip, we should all develop the habit of reading the Gita every day. The Gita summarizes the vast Vedic philosophy. Krishna is instructing us to engage in the path of Bhakti Yoga. In the 9th chapter, Krishna says, Raja Vidya Raja. This knowledge is the king of education. Prabhupada was once giving a lecture at a major university in America. And Prabhupada inquired, is there any department that tells you what happens after that? There was no reply. About 10 days ago we lectured at Stanford University in California. So I was informed that in Stanford University there are 2,000 departments. And not a single department that tells you what happens after that. So these are essential questions. BBT published a book called Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. These are questions that we should be asking. When Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said, society thinks we are very learned, we don't even know who we are. So why is this the king of education? Because this knowledge tells us, this knowledge educates us in all aspects. Material knowledge that we are hankering for only helps us take care of our material needs. You can go to the best university, you can do the best courses. And if you analyze, what are they aimed at? What are they aimed at? Just making your body more convenient. They never talk about the tragedies of life. They never talk about the miseries of life. The other day we were driving to our Sharanagati project. You know our Sharanagati project? The big farm that we have in near Ashcroft. And as we were about 60 kilometers away, they stopped us. It was a blazing fire. And as some of you may know, the blazing fire is expanding every day. Still not contained, isn't it? In fact, every day there are more and more new fires. And if we analyze the society today, you see so much evil in society. So many people are suffering from stress, mental disorders, suicide, etc. Why is all this happening? Because of a lack of spirituality. Therefore Prahlad Maharaja said in the 7th canto that we should start obtaining spiritual education from the age of 5. Kamana Achar Pragya. We start this education from the age of 5. Krishna finds parents when they have children, they try their best to give them education from a young age. And if they don't, then children grow up with bad habits. And Pranama says, why? Because the human home life is very rare. So Bhagavad Gita educates us on many important issues. Bhagavad Gita also educates us on the importance of time. Krishna says, time I am the destroyer of everything. Time destroys everything, doesn't it? Yes, no? I've been seeing many of you, over time you've all aged. I've also aged, so I'm no exception. Over time you've all aged. Over time, vocal cords get weak. Over time, our body gets weak. Time destroys everything. Therefore, Chanakya Pandit said, don't waste a minute. Use this time productively. So Krishna inquired from Arjuna, is your illusion now gone? Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita like a teacher educates his student. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of humanity. And this Bhagavad Gita is eternal wisdom. A few days ago, we celebrated the appearance day of Vyasadeva. It was Guru Purnima. You know that? And it was Sanatana Goswami's appearance day. So we were celebrating Vyasadeva's birthday. Vyasadeva is the literally incarnation of the Lord who gave us the Vedas. But even after giving us the vast Vedas, originally there was only one Veda, Yajurveda. Vyasadeva divided it into 4. Then he gave us the Puranas, etc. But even after having compiled this vast Vedic literature, Vyasadeva was feeling something lacking in my effort. And then Narada Muni, who appeared there, told him what? He has not exclusively presented the path of pure devotional service. So Bhagavad Gita presents the path of Bhakti Yoga. It talks about different types of yoga. But it concludes by saying, Bhakti Amam Amjanti. In chapter 9, Krishna says, Patam Puspam Padam Toyam Kame Bhaktyam Prayachati. You can offer me a leaf, tulsi leaf, pushpam, flower, palam, fruit. Toya means water. Krishna doesn't even say it has to be Fiji water. I heard the Fiji brand water is expensive. Is that right, Fijians? $4 a bottle, something. Yeah, is that right? It's a big hit in America. But Krishna doesn't say it has to be Fiji, and there's a famous French brand from Paris, Evian. Krishna doesn't say that. It's a tulsi leaf, flower. But he says, I will accept it only on one condition. What is that one condition? With love and devotion. So that's what Krishna is looking for. We need to develop love and devotion. Bhagavad Gita preaches action, but for the pleasure of the Lord. Just like Krishna has said, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanasmana Yudecha. With your mind, intelligence dedicated to me, you do your duty in life. So we have to learn how to act for the pleasure of the Lord. If you want to be the bhakta, the enjoyer, then take on all the karma. You know how much karma is involved when you drive your car on the street. You have no idea how many entities on the ground you're driving over. Even when you light fire, you're killing so many entities. Our life is sinful, whether you're a devotee or non-devotee. But as a devotee, if you're dedicating your life to the Lord says, I will except the irresponsible. So, Krishna says, act for my pleasure. Then in the chapter on Dhyana Yoga, Krishna emphasizes the importance of controlling the mind. The mind is a key player in our spiritual effort. Krishna says, make friends with the mind. Don't let the mind be your enemy. What does it mean, making friends with the mind? What does it mean? Make the mind, put the mind on the right track. Right track means think about the Lord, meditate on the Lord. That's like Krishna. Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, think of me. But many times people say, how can I think about Krishna? One way you can think about the form of the Lord, but then think of the Lord as one who is the oldest. Who is the oldest person? Adhyam Purana Purusham. My dear Lord, you are the oldest. But look at what you do. Does Krishna ever look old? Sometimes when you ask people, what does God look like? If in the Western society you ask this question, what does God look like? 50% will draw the Santa Claus. There was a survey done, and people ask, what does God look like? The majority of them drew a picture of Santa Claus. This is what God looks like. Santa Claus at least has a white beard. But in Krishna, he doesn't age with the passage of time. He looks ever youthful. The thing of God is one who's always a person. There are some people who say, God is impersonal, isn't it? Once somebody important had come to meet me in Delhi, the Delhi temple. So I told my secretary, taking one darshan of the deities, So the man went installing. He would say, let's go for darshan. He would say, a little later. Finally he says, I don't believe in the form of God. I don't believe in Murti Puja. I'm an impersonal. So impersonal means they don't believe that God has a form. They believe that Murti is just a statue or marble or metal or wood. But the Vedic conclusion is God can appear in any form. There is known as Archa Vigraha. The Lord appears in His transcendental form. And this form is not different from the Lord. So when we come to the temple and we think, here is a murti made of marble, then the murti will look like a statue to you. If we say, here is God, manifesting himself as Srinaji, manifesting himself as Adamada, Ornitai, and you bow down, then the God will even speak to you. You know that story of Sakshi Gopal, where the poor Brahmin, whose reputation was at stake, he was being accused of having drugged up a rich Brahmin. And the poor Brahmin said, I never did that. He was asked to produce evidence. So he went to the deity of Gopal, who testified. So the point we're making is, God is, in the ultimate analysis, a person. And this form of the Lord is Janma Karma Chame, completely transcendental. So when we come to the temple of the Lord, we should bow down before the deity of the Lord. The deity is none else but the Supreme Lord. And we should always understand, God can be present in any form, but the personal aspect of God is superior to the other aspects of God. So, Krishna says, offer me even a leaf and I will accept it. But he says, it should be offered to me with love and devotion. So what are we lacking? What are we lacking? Love and devotion. We have love. We have love for perishable objects. We love each other's body. But the body is going to go away today or tomorrow, isn't it? We have love for Calgary, Canada, nice welfare plan. But it's all, we have so many types of love. But we should have devotion to the Lord. Why is it that we don't have devotion? Why? Why is it we don't have devotion? Why is it we have devotion for everything material, but no attraction to something spiritual? Why? Due to the influence of lust, anger, greed, envy, hatred. In the 3rd chapter, Krishna was asked, how is one compelled into sinful acts, even unwillingly? I know it's wrong, but I still indulge in it. And what did Krishna say? It is lust only. The all-devouring enemy of the living entity, which is burning like fire. Can this fire ever be satiated? Just like giving an example of the fire in BC, which I saw. That fire is just expanding day by day under the new areas of being brought into fire. So, this fire can never be satiated. Then what does Krishna say? With the weapon of knowledge, destroy it. Knowledge means philosophy spoken in the Gita. Philosophy written by Vyasadeva. This is flawless knowledge. This knowledge is perfect. Because Vyasadeva is a literary incarnation of the Lord. So Bhagavad Gita is offering us timeless wisdom. It is not restricted to any country or a time. It is Sanatana Dharma. So how to develop love and devotion? In the very next verse, Krishna says, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat dehosi dadasi yat, yat avasori kaunteya, tat kurishamat. Whatever you do it as an offering unto me. So we all have to do something. And whatever you eat, offer it to me. Whatever charity you do it for me. Question is, how do I get this knowledge? How to act? So the scriptures recommend sadhu sangha. You must take spiritual association. Prabhupada opened the ISKCON Society. As you know, Prabhupada left India in August 1965, and very recently we celebrated the Golden Jubilee of Prabhupada's departure from India. Then in 1966, Prabhupada incorporated ISKCON and opened the first ISKCON temple. And in 1967, the first Rath Yatra was held by ISKCON in San Francisco. Prabhupada said when he came to America, he said, in your country you have New York, New Jersey, New Louisiana, why not have New Jagannath Puri? So he named the San Francisco New Jagannath Puri. He named our Moundsville project New Vrindavan. So the question is how to develop this love and devotion. And that knowledge comes from sadhu sangha. Spiritual association, especially with those who are more advanced, is very necessary if you want to make spiritual advancement. As they say in English, a man is known by the company he keeps. So Prabhupada established ISKCON. So a reporter asked Prabhupada, why are you establishing ISKCON? To give people a science which they can become happy. So Krishna has very systematically explained the philosophy of life. Bhagavad Gita is what? Is a philosophy of life. You buy an expensive product, along with that product you get a manual. The manual tells you do's and don'ts. Am I right? Am I right? All of you have fancy cars. I see that. So I'm sure when you buy a new car, you get a manual with it, isn't it? Do's and don'ts. So Bhagavad Gita also is a human manual. It tells you what to do, what not to do. Now we are presenting the Bhagavad Gita to corporates in many parts of the world. And Bhagavad Gita is being very widely accepted as a practical document. As a practical document that gives us guidance. We see stress. Is stress a major problem or no? Is there tension in society? Why? Too much attachment. Bhagavad Gita teaches you the principle of detachment. Bhagavad Gita gives an example. Lotus leaf with the water, but not touched by water. So Krishna says, act but in the spirit of detachment. Not attachment. In ignorance, we are attached. In knowledge, we act but without in detachment. Just like we are born in ignorance, Om Agyan. We live in ignorance, and most of us die in ignorance. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Pramanda Pramita Kona Bhagavanaji, Guru Krishna Kripa Pai, Bhakti. After going through unlimited births and deaths, is he the fortunate soul who receives the seed of Bhakti? Bhakti means what? Bhakti means you get the understanding you are not this body. You get the understanding devotion to Krishna is the supreme occupation. You get the understanding I should dedicate my actions to the Lord. So you get this Bhakti Lata bead. But this knowledge that I should engage in devotion and service has to develop. The seed has to grow. And how will the seed grow? How does it grow? By chanting and hearing. Shravanam Kirtana. But unfortunately, the many people who have been hearing the importance of chanting for years and years, still they won't chant. We say chant, chant, chant. They say can. What to do? That's the tragedy of Kali Yuga. But nevertheless, we keep making an effort. As some of you may know, today by Prabhupada's mercy and effort and his representative's work, then over 600 temples all over the world, and thousands of people are taking the Krishna consciousness. Why? But Krishna consciousness in the Bhagavad Gita is practical philosophy that can be adapted by anyone. So Bhagavad Gita should be read every time I come to your temple. I try to request you all to read it every day. Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna said, is your illusion now gone? So what did Arjuna say? Yes. O infallible one. O infallible one means one who never makes any mistake. You make mistake, I make mistake. Alright? But you people never make mistakes. Do you? They say in English, to err is human. Make mistakes is normal. But Krishna never makes any mistakes. Therefore he is infallible. Arjuna said, O infallible one. So we should recognize that God is always infallible. God never comes under the influence of time. So, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. Just like many of you, before you came to Krishna consciousness, you had the understanding, I am this body, and my goal in life should be to cater to the body. But then when he came in contact with Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, you realize, oh, that was an illusion. This body is going to eventually get destroyed. So you change your lifestyle. Just like before coming to Krishna consciousness, people had so many bad habits. But now after coming to Krishna consciousness, they are reformed. So that is the power of association. So Arjuna said, my illusion is now gone. Many times, many of us do not know what to do. Am I right? We get confused. What to do? Bhagavad Gita has an answer. Bhagavad Gita answers every question that you can have. I met people of different walks of life, and when I ask them, why do you read the Gita? They say it's a practical document that answers every question. So I have regained my memory by your mercy. So Arjuna was confused previously. He didn't know what to do. Fight, not fight. So he said, now I have regained my memory. Then what do he say? I am now free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instruction. So that should be our mentality. I am ready to act according to Krishna's instruction. And how do you understand Krishna's instruction? You understand Krishna's instruction. How? Guru Sadhu Shastra. Shastra means words of God. But Shastra also means knowledge which has no flaws. Bhagavad Gita has no flaw. People try to criticize the Gita, but that's because they don't understand the Gita. Gita is flawless knowledge, spoken by the perfect person for our benefit. So, Arjuna says, my illusion is now gone, and now I'm prepared to act as per your instruction. So we act according to Krishna's instructions. You will be happy, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, and Sochatina Kankari. And if you don't want to act according to Krishna's instructions, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Go to the samsara, birth and death. Birth, death, disease, old age, and go through the other miseries of life. So Krishna is so kind. He's given us the Bhagavad Gita that tells us how to act, how to think, how to earn a livelihood, how to get guidance. And Krishna in the end, what does he say? Sarvadhamma Parityaja. Surrender to me, and I will protect you. We doubt it, isn't it? These days they say that Amazon, everyone's heard of Amazon? Okay, the universal word now. Amazon is driving all the retailers out of business. They say that Walmart drove the retailers. Now Amazon is driving Walmart out of business. And why? People have faith that 30-day guarantee is a good guarantee, isn't it? They can wear the product and then sell returns and get the money back. So people have faith. So why don't you have faith? Krishna says, follow my path, do what I'm saying, I will protect you. Then we doubt. If an employer tells you, work for me, produce so much sales and I'll give you so much, we have faith. So that's unfortunate. So we need to be in genuine association, just like Srila Prabhupada. He came and gave us the real message of the Bhagavad Gita. He did not adulterate. When Prabhupada was in New York, when he first came there, he had a meeting with the so-called Swamis. These Swamis were there more to make money. So when they heard what Prabhupada was preaching, they said, Swamiji, no one's going to follow you. You should also become Westernized like us and change your lifestyle. But Prabhupada refused to cooperate. Prabhupada presented the Gita as as it is. So all over the world people sometimes question, what is this as it is? And Prabhupada explains in the introduction, the message without any distortion. So our request to all of you is, I know that all of you are busy men. Are all of you busy? No, not so busy. They say, if there's a will, there's a way. Everyone likes to think he's busy. Everyone likes to think he's the most loved one in society. You know what people do every morning when they get up? First thing they do, look at their cell phone. People say they say good morning, good morning. And that good morning culture is gone. You want to know who remembered them last night? Where was a missed call? And if they don't find missed calls, they get a heart attack. No one loves me anymore. So we live in a world of illusion. And now, you know another thing in the society? People today are more lonely than ever before. There was a survey done in America. And today, in all these developed countries where there's plenty of money, people are more lonely than ever before. Now they have a perfect companion, smartphone. You fly on a plane, you fly anywhere, see everyone playing with a smartphone. People sitting in the cars, they won't chant Hare Krishna, they play with a smartphone. Is that true? Or am I making it up? Okay. So the illusion is getting deeper and deeper. So the sadhu's business is to wake people up. Jeev jago, Sura Chanda Bole. There's a nice song by Thakur Bhaktivinoda. He says, "O conditioned soul, please get up." You may say, "I'm up, can't you see that?" We are up materially, but spiritually we are snoring. So we need to be woken up to the spiritual reality. That is, we are the eternal servants of the Lord. So please take the spirituality seriously. Generally, those people come to ISKCON temples, those who have interest in the philosophy of Bhakti Yoga. We often hear, oh, there's so many temples in Calgary, so many temples in Edmonton, so many temples everywhere. Yes, we are happy they are. But not everyone gets attracted to ISKCON. We are saying that frankly. Those who have interest in Bhakti Yoga, those who believe that Krishna is supreme, they come. So all of you sitting here have some interest in Bhakti Yoga. But take it more, make it more serious. Chant your rounds nicely. We chant around, but we chant half-heartedly. Chant around nicely. Read the Bhagavad Gita. At least make a commitment. That Brahman story that I gave, the Brahman was instructed by his guru to recite 18 chapters a day. We're not telling you to recite 18 chapters a day. Of course it would be good if you could. But if you can't, at least start out with one verse a day. Is that right? Is that reasonable?
Yes.
So how many of you are ready to make a commitment? One verse a day with per minimum. Yes? Almost there. How many of you made that commitment last year? Did I ask you for commitment last year? Okay. Okay, we'll give you a discount. Start with the first. Please read the Gita, chant the holy name, and be determined. Nothing in life comes without determination. Be determined. I want to succeed on the spiritual path. If you don't have determination, your turbulent mind will not let you step forward. So we need determination, which also is derived chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any questions? I thought I'd leave some time for. more questions? None of you can think of any questions? Very low IQ. Yes.
I've listened to your lectures before, and you've mentioned that the eyes are meant to see the deities, and that the eyes just don't see the deities are useless. We see a lot of people that come before the deities and just close their eyes. So is that an offense?
Oh, they close their eyes.
Yeah, and like a lot of temples in India, we just see people just closing their eyes and meditating in front of the Krishna deity or Vishnu
That's a very
deity.
good question. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, those eyes that do not see the form of the Lord are like plumes of a peacock feather. Have you seen a peacock feather? And then there are those plumes. They look like eyes, but they're not eyes. So eyes are meant to see the form of the Lord. Now your next question is, we may come in front of the deity of the Lord and close our eyes. That may be out of respect. The devotee has already seen the form and we want to meditate on the form really hard. I mean, there could be a variety of reasons that I can't explain. But when we come in front of the deities, we must bow down. There's so many people who come, standing up now, what's that? We must, in the Bhagavatam there's a heavy statement. If I say it, it will be recorded, so I can't say it. But Bhagavatam gives heavy punishment for a head that doesn't bow down before the Lord. I won't tell you in public what the punishment is. Okay. Sridhar Baba. Yes, any more questions? Yes.
Guru Maharaj, you said, right, most of the people chant their rounds half-heartedly, right? So, can you explain how can we chant the rounds wholeheartedly? What is the best way to do it?
With attention. The important point is we should be attentive in what we do. When we're chanting the holy name, try to hear what you're chanting. Know that you're chanting and doing other things at the same time. Just like when you is that prasad today, Bhakti? Oh, good. So that's like when you go to eat prasad. You like to eat prasad with concentration. If someone keeps disturbing you, you say, come back later. Let me eat in peace. Our mantra should be, let me chant in peace, come back later. Okay. More questions?
What is the difference between the work done in Krishna consciousness and the work done without Krishna consciousness?
What we've done in Krishna consciousness.
Suppose work done by keeping Krishna in the mind and the work done without keeping Krishna in the mind.
Keeping Krishna in mind is one thing. But offering the results of Krishna is another thing. Like Indians are exporting saying, nothing belongs to me, it all belongs to Krishna. Nothing is mine. When in practice if you see, everything is theirs. Nothing is Krishna. Krishna gets patam pasvam phalam toyam, and I eat off silver plates. So, just thinking of Krishna, we should, like Arjuna, what do you think? Now I'm ready to act according to your instructions. So we should be ready to act according to Krishna's instructions. What does Krishna say? Ma phaleshu kadachana. Offer your results to me. And then people say, oh, this is the most painful sloka of Bhagavad Gita. It's so painful. Offer the results to Krishna. And what's going to happen to my bank balance? The more you keep, The more karma you have to account for. The more you give to Krishna, the more you serve Krishna, the less liability you have. Just like if you pay your income tax, according to the slab, you have no anxiety. Yeah. More questions? Yeah.
Maharaj, when we read Bhagavad Gita, everything makes sense. Everything, you read different chapters, message of Krishna regarding our life. Everything makes sense when we're reading it. But why we're not able to act on the teachings of Krishna then? If everything makes sense.
Okay, frank question. So the answer is, it's not that everybody is not acting. I know many people in different parts of the world acting fully according to Krishna's instruction. I was in China last month and I did a program in a doctor's clinic. The doctor had a 4-room clinic. The one room had mridangas and kartals. So I asked him, what is this mridanga and kartal for? He said, every Wednesday I have a kirtan program in my clinic. And he opened his cupboard and showed me Bhagavatam and Gita all in Chinese. So, I'm just giving one isolated example. So there are many people who do, after all there are 600 ISKCON temples around the world. People are coming, that's why. But we have to realize that what Krishna is saying is a real thing. It is not mythology. When the Britishers were ruling India, they had their scholars study Sanskrit. So they went back and translated the books. And they said, everything in the Vedas is mythology. It's not a myth, it's a reality. So keep reading Gita again and again, stay in sadhu sangha, ask questions, and that will reinforce your desire. Yeah? Any more questions? No questions from the ladies? No? Any more questions? No more questions? We stop then. Hare Krishna.